Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
Satou Sabally may single-handedly end the 2026 WNBA season before it ever gets started. Welcome back to the channel. Oh, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all your support. I really hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19. Let's go. Now, this is, of course, about the CBA. It's about something specific. And I want to talk about her comments here and how she presents them, how she presents herself. But I also want to get into something that is related that we will see as well. You've heard me touch on in the past how I think that it is possible that the WNBA gives the players things they do not deserve because of how things may play out in the media, and that may be, in fact, setting them up for problems later on down the line because this is not the NBA, this is not the NFL, this is not a massive professional sports league that can necessarily withstand maybe giving away some things that they probably shouldn't. So first, let's dig in. I want to listen to what Satou says, and then I want to get into something else from the media. But first, real quick, completely unrelated. But you're the 19. You're my peep. So I got to ask this. There is a movie called Primitive War. It is actually somehow a dinosaur movie set in the Vietnam War. It's got actually has Trisha Helfer and Jeremy Piven in it, but it seems to be in a very, very limited movie release. I've got either tonight at 6. Man, you're not even going to see this in time. What am I doing? But I was going to say it's tonight at 6:30 p.m. and then I think Monday at 6:30 p.m. And then at some point somewhere it's going to go to some streaming service. And I'm just on the fence. I would love. It looks good actually, and I'm a big dinosaur guy, so I would love to see that on the big screen. But anyway, what do you think? But let's dig in. Let's take a listen. This is only about 30 seconds long, so pay attention. Class is in session. Professor Satu.
Mhm. Terrible. That's my only comment on it. It's like they don't care about player safety. It's like they don't care about scheduling or whatever. And I mean, I only mentioned that one time in the beginning of the season, and I know people always love to come and say, "Oh, you guys want to get paid more? You guys need to play all these games." But at some point, there's a sports science to it, and yeah, it's honestly just like game on game on game on game. So we play tomorrow, and we're professional. We'll do it.
Wow. Where to begin with this? First, just a helpful piece of advice for Satu as a adult, I think. I don't know, the way she talks, the way she acts, I'm really not sure. I don't think she's ever gotten past 9 or 10 years old. But as an adult in a professional setting such as this, maybe get your finger out of your mouth or at least away from your mouth. Maybe you didn't actually have it in your mouth. Maybe you weren't biting on your fingernail, but you could probably take your fingers away from your mouth when you are speaking in such a setting. The last part was funny. Did you notice how she tried to preempt all of you and me from talking about this? Oh, I know I talked before and got other blah 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 science. Satu, I don't think you know what science means, sweetheart. I really don't. I really, really, truly don't. This is wild. I never would have guessed, a year ago that I would lean towards Satou Sabally being the most unlikable and dumbest player in the WNBA. I know she's got a lot of competition, but man, every time she opens her mouth, I'm just like, oh, nails on a chalkboard. How can you be this stupid? Why are you whining and complaining like an entitled little brat? Entitled little brat. So, first of all, and by the way, where to begin? Let's back up a second. They don't care about player safety or scheduling. So let's get into that. First of all, she's right and wrong here. I do believe in some ways they don't care about player safety, but it has nothing to do with playing back to backs or scheduling. They're like two completely different things. It has to do with the way the games are officiated. We've all talked about that numerous times, how it's like rugby on a basketball court, because again, they want to hide the lack of skill. So that's actually, even though that may cause more injuries, It's been in the players' favor because if everyone saw them truly play basketball, no one watched anyway, but you get what I'm saying. So let's get in. First of all, the human body physically can endure so much more than a lot of people realize. Some back-to-back games in a 4 or 5 month basketball season ain't gonna do it. There's a lot of other stuff involved in the modern game that are problems. Any of you that grew up pickup culture know exactly what I'm talking about. You may have been out playing hard, playing full court all weekend long, maybe even and maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 days a week in the summer. Maybe during the school year when it's still nice out, you're playing all weekend long and you're going out in the evenings and playing and you're playing for hours at a time and people aren't getting these injuries. Back to backs have been part of the schedules in all professional sports always. The NBA, which has a much longer season when you factor in playoffs and everything else. But even just the regular season, it's not quite twice as long now. It's more than twice as long until this season. 82 games they play on average. Now they have back to backs, but this also means they get longer breaks. They play once every 2.1 days. They basically play every other day for a much longer period of time, for 6 months. And that's before the playoffs even start. That has more than twice as many teams as the WNBA, and each round's more games as well. The WNBA, this is the most games they've ever played, a whopping 44, and they have a game every 2.7 days, over 2.5 days. So yes, every once in a while they're going to get a back to back, and every once in a while they're going to get 5 or 6 days of rest. That is just the fact of life when you are scheduling an entire professional sports organization. And yes, said two, if you want more money that you do not deserve, you are going to have to play more games, which means you're either going to start the season earlier, which you really can't do because of college basketball, or you're going to have to extend it, which means you're going to extend it even more into college football, into professional football in the NFL, into possibly hockey and the NHL, into the Major League Baseball playoffs and World Series, into the start of the NBA, into maybe the start of college basketball. The whole reason the WNBA has been in the summer is because, and in this 4 month period, is to minimize the sports competition in terms of entertainment choices for the fans. But if you want that money and you want more rest, although again, remember, you get more than half a day's rest on average per game than the NBA, who plays a lot more games. Are you understanding what I'm saying? So this is going to be a problem in the CBA. If they're so adamant that you have childish little brats like Satou Sabally bringing this up multiple times, it is going to be a sticking point in the CBA because they simply cannot make and I mean it makes sense coming from an activist league, but no, they can't have every team playing, every 3 days or whatever it is without ever having more or less rest between games while they all play the same, the number of games against each other, and they all have their half of the games at home and half of the games away. You simply cannot do it. They don't do it in any other sport. Even in the NFL, which is like a play once a week type of sport, you still have difficult problems in the schedule now because you have Monday night games, you have Sunday night games, which shorten it. You have a lot of more Thursday games now. At one point, it used to be that was a Thanksgiving thing, and now you have a lot of Thursday night games. And so you get teams that have multiple short weeks, and sometimes they might even have multiple long weeks. That is the reality of playing a professional sport and getting paid. Like that's it. This is not something that really is negotiable. And yet, now I want to bring in the stuff I was talking about in terms of reporting and the news. And we all know that WNBA reporting has been ridiculous and it's been slanted. I mean, we can just start and stop with the whole entire season of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark and the rookie class. If they're, whether they're talking about ratings and bringing in new fans, it's Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese or Caitlin Clark and the rookie class. And then we had almost an entire season until Angel got hurt at the end, where it was Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese talking about rookie of the year. Remember, in fact, they wanted to keep Angel in it by talking about the fake double doubles. And then it became about, well, it's the team with the better record. And then, of course, when that flipped, you never heard any talk about that again. So the WNBA has very much the media in a lot of ways on the league side, I get, but then also if you're going to go league and player is on very much on the player side where they should be objective in how they're reporting. And I'm going to give you a great example. We've got this. Now this is Patrick Beverly talking about the playing back-to-backs.
All right, now. Come on now. Come on, man. Y'all had me. W had me. I'm talking about I'm rooting. I'm rooting. Yeah, come on, man. These ladies deserve more money, but come on, man. You got to play back-to-backs, man. Come on. You got to. It's part of shit. But if a lockout came, if I was playing back-to-backs three times, you have to play 3 games in a row. Come on, man. I'm all with it. But don't lose me there now. Don't lose me. Don't lose me. Please don't lose me. Love game.
And first, I really hate that word deserve when we're talking about stuff like this. You got to earn. It's not about what you think you deserve. You have to actually earn it. But now the WNBA players, we get that they just got chartered flights, but come on, even flying commercial, flying like the rest of us do now compared to say what players went through 40, 50, 60 years ago, or how about back when they were just on buses, right? Like, come on, seriously, you've got the technology, the advancements in everything else in recovery and all of that. And we're going to whine about playing some back-to-backs because now, correct me if I'm wrong, because this is to do this manually would take forever. So I'm checking a whole bunch of sources and everything. But this back-to-back just played by Phoenix, the one she's whining about here, and she whined earlier in the season. Those are the only 2 times all freaking season long that the Phoenix Mercury played back-to-back games, yo. Yes, I did just say yo. And yet she's complaining about that as like this is the worst thing that could ever happen to a basketball player. And I don't want to hear about the money. Again, they get paid more than the typical American who has to actually work a real job that could be very, very dangerous, much more dangerous than Satou. How would you like to work 8, 10, 12 hours a day, 5, 6 days a week in something like construction, Satou Sabally? By the way, 12 months out of the year with maybe a week or 2 of vacation. How would you like to do that? Absolutely incredible that she's complaining about this. But here's the thing. Here's this response from this Eden Lausdaron. Here's the thing. WNBA rosters have 12 players. NBA rosters have 15 players and up to 18 with 2-way contracts. Plus, WNBA players are playing in other leagues during their off season, which means more wear and tear on the body. It's important to have all the facts. Now, this is someone who says they're a journalist. I said that like it should be in quotes, yes, covering women's basketball for Hoops HQ and Yahoo, an AP voter and a college graduate. And yet she just spouted out gibberish and then ends it. I love when dumb people, they're always condescending. Have you noticed that? Arrogant and condescending? It's important to have all the facts. Okay. Facts like, I don't know, the ones I've been talking about, the WNBA play shorter games too, by the way, right? 8 minutes out of 40 is 20%. The NBA plays 20% more per game. They play 82 games over 44, and that's just the regular season. If the teams that advance in the playoffs, it's insane how many more games they play than the WNBA, right? So, and with that season being a lot longer for the NBA, that means their off season is also shorter. So she talks about them playing overseas. Well, the NBA season is more than twice as long as the WNBA season. So it's really, you could say it's a toss up. But I would also add that again, as I just said, these players make more money in 4 or 5 months than the average American does all year long. They do not have to play overseas. They choose to play overseas. So in multiple ways, this ridiculousness about the other leagues and the offseason and the wear and tear is absolutely absurd. Now, to the roster point, guess what? You would have to take less money WNBA players because now you're going to have more players on the roster. But also, as we know, because you sure have seen it if you're a Fever fan, players get signed all the time. There are a whole lot of professional players out there playing elsewhere and then maybe sitting around, and the WNBA teams just sign them if they have multiple injuries. I mean, what? Shea Patty, Ariel Powers, Chloe Bibby, Odyssey Sims, Ari McDonald. That's just the Fever. But, they could handle it because here's the other thing. That's all it's about. It's about injuries, right? In the NBA, teams are not playing all those players every game, right? So it's not like players are getting that rest because the rosters are better. It's just, it is definitely, I will say, it is more convenient. It's easier for a team if they have the bigger roster in terms of if you get injuries like the Fever did and players have to step up, they've been with the team and they've been practicing and it's easier to integrate them and all that. But that is a separate issue from what we're talking about here with injuries and not caring about the players and all of that nonsense. So, but here's again my point being that the journalists, so-called journalists covering the WNBA, reflexively are going to side with the players and all this, which means probably some as the CBA heats up, negative press for the league. And in this moment, just like U.S. soccer did by caving to the women's U.S. national team, despite winning in court, I can see the WNBA giving the players stuff that they don't necessarily deserve, haven't necessarily earned, or don't necessarily shouldn't necessarily be something that they should be getting, which could be a problem for the league down the line. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. We go on and on about this. There's so many things involved, but this got kind of long as it is. Sorry about that. Wow, I didn't realize this was this long a video. Anyway, appreciate you being here. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Really do appreciate it. Go have the day you deserve. I will talk to you later.